Divorce is hard. It is very hard to go through. And of course, we all need support going through that process. Whether it's somebody to vent to, whether it's somebody to ask advice of, somebody just to be there for us, we all need support. Please, first and foremost, don't be afraid to ask for help. You don't need to go through this alone. But a couple of things I'd like you to think about when you're thinking through who to talk to. So naturally, our first step is to go to our close friends, those in our circle that we trust, whether it's a family member, a best friend, another close friend, or what have you. Remember that they may not always know what to say, right? Divorce is hard for everybody, including the people that love you and care for you, that are watching you go through this process. And so some of them just may not be equipped with the words to say. They feel awkward, they don't know how to handle it, they don't want to steer you in the wrong direction. And so sometimes when we go to these particular people that are not equipped, we feel disappointed. We feel disappointed because they're not supporting us. And we just have to remember that it's okay that that person isn't able to support us, because maybe that's just not in their wheelhouse, and they don't want to give us bad information, and they don't want to be a bad support. And so we just have to figure out who in my circle are the right people that I should be talking to specifically about the divorce. It doesn't mean that I stop being friends with that person who can't handle it, because I could still be friends with them about all kinds of other things and be there for each other on all kinds of other topics. It just so happens that divorce and or separation is not the topic that that person can deal with me on. And do remember, some people are going to unfortunately pick up and leave. They don't know how to handle it. Maybe they haven't been through a divorce, or they don't know that many people that have gone through the process, and it's just awkward for them. They don't know what to say. They just can't handle it. And again, that's okay. Some people are going to leave, and that's okay. It happens in life. And others are going to not only stick by you, but they might even surprise you. People that you didn't think or expect to be there for you in that way might actually step up. And others might just need for you to tell them what it is you need. So, maybe it's, I just need to vent. I don't need you to give me answers. I don't need you to solve my problems. I just need somebody to talk to and vent. Or maybe it's, I need to vent and I need a little bit more than that from you. I need you to tell me, do I sound unreasonable? Like, I'm using you maybe as a sounding board, and is what I'm saying reasonable? Or do you think or suggest that maybe I change my approach? That's not to say that you're asking them about legal advice or how to approach a process in divorce, but maybe it's talking about your humanistic or personal approach with your soon-to-be ex-partner, and maybe you just need somebody to kind of give you, check you basically, to make sure that you're handling things appropriately, one on the outside and two on the inside. In terms of what the friends might do or how they react, you do have to kind of boost yourself up and remember, again, you're going to be disappointed by some reactions from friends that you may not have been expecting, and that's okay. Just sort of boost yourself up to know that that's going to happen. And again, like I mentioned, there are going to be other friends that surprise you in such a nice way that you weren't expecting, and here they are stepping up. So it all kind of will balance out. It just can be a little bit hard in the beginning as you're figuring out, who are those people in my support system that I can truly count on when I'm going through my separation and divorce. Another thing you want to remember is who you're talking to for what. So again, I'm going to maybe my personal support system to vent, for moral support, for self-care purposes, but then maybe I'm going to a therapist for other kinds of support, right? Because ultimately, we don't always leave all our cards on the table for even our closest of friends. Sometimes there are things that we're just not comfortable sharing with people that are there in our lives, but we're more comfortable sharing with somebody that's kind of a stranger and an outsider from our life. And so for some of that self-care and therapy, you might be going to a therapist, a social worker, a psychotherapist, whoever it is that you need to get that kind of support from. And again, remember, what are the things that you're looking for? So now we've talked about moral support with friends and family. Then we've talked about therapy. Well, now you also need to understand, how does this process actually work? Like, who do I talk to for what when I'm talking about divorce and separation? This is when it's a great time to talk to a divorce coach. So a divorce coach is somebody who is either schooled in or, whether personally or academically and professionally, the whole process of divorce. So they will be your support system in terms of bouncing ideas off of, and certainly bouncing ideas off of in terms of approach, both in the process of divorce and handling your soon to be ex-spouse. They also will have a whole list of referral, like people that they can refer to you that are in their team or that they know of, depending on what kind of support you need. So again, that could be therapists, that could be real estate agents because you're selling the house, that could be financial advisors, it could be lawyers, it could be a whole slew of different professionals. And this is really sort of a great approach because you're basically getting a one-stop shop in terms of talking to somebody who can help you figure out all the other professionals you may need in this process. And it's kind of nice to have this one person sort of basically project managing you, right? Okay, for this you talk to that person, for this you talk to this person. And it's just helpful. You've got so much else going on in your mind. It's helpful to kind of have somebody else on the outside keeping track of all of that for you. And they also act like a phone a friend, right? In a moment where you're just totally worked up, this person is your phone a friend that can help you through and figure out, okay, how do I calm down and find my peace again? How can I make sure that I'm acting out of a place of peace? Because you always want to make your decisions from a place of peace. You do not want to make your decisions when you're totally riled up and upset about something, because you're probably not going to get the best result. And then, of course, we're talking about the actual process. Who do I talk to for that? Well, certainly, I'm going to recommend talking to a mediator if you're looking for an amicable approach to resolving your divorce matters. While a mediator can't give you legal advice, they can provide you with legal information. So they can walk you through how the process works. They can give you suggestions in terms of how to make sure that your whole process is as amicable as possible. And you know that the very fact that they are mediators means that their work is predominantly focused on helping people resolve amicably. And so that's something that you want for your outcome. I mean, certainly, why wouldn't you want it? It's cheaper, it's faster, it's easier, it's nicer, way less stressful than going through court. So it can be a really great avenue to start out talking to a mediator. But there are parts of this process where you absolutely need independent legal advice. And for that, you obviously need to talk to a family law lawyer. Now, the key is going to be, what kind of family law lawyer do you speak with? Do you speak with one who doesn't appreciate mediation and or arbitration or some form of resolving outside of court? Or do you speak with a lawyer who does appreciate that? And again, it boils down to, what is the end result that you're looking for here? Is it, I'm on attack mode and I want to go for everything I can get? Or is it, I want to resolve peacefully, amicably, as quickly as possible? So if it's the latter, then you want to look for a lawyer who supports the mediation process. And there are lawyers out there who are mediators, so certainly a mediator/lawyer will support the mediation process. And it just reminded me, just in terms of who you're talking to in your support system. Again, if you're looking for a calm, peaceful outcome, be careful of who you check in with in your personal support system. If you talk to somebody who may have the best of intentions for you, but in their wanting the best for you, where they want you to get the most money and the most time with your kids and the most of this, and they want you to go after the other person for everything, is that really going to be the best approach in a situation where you're trying to go for a peaceful divorce? Probably not. So just be really careful when you're choosing who in your personal support system that you're talking to, that the people you choose are not the people who are going to rile you up. It might be unintentional, right? Again, it may be coming from a very good place and from good intentions, but be careful that you're speaking to somebody who's going to help you along in a way that supports the process that you want to follow, not the process that they want to follow. So food for thought. Again, it's not an easy process. Choose the right people for your support system personally, for your support from a therapeutic standpoint, and for your support from a process standpoint. These will all be different people, and trust your gut. Your gut will tell you the right thing. Have a great day.